Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened. It just went like what? Um, so what I was saying was that no one is going to hit you over the head to get in to receive information. I am literally getting ready to spoon feed you guys. I'm getting ready to give you what you've asked for. Um, yeah, investing, financial. There's two parts to the Queen Network: relationship, and God has had us on that for a while. He set me free in a lot of ways last year because he basically launched me into the Queen Network, and he needed to free me in the area of my femininity. And that's why I had to go through that Queen preparation process. And so, ladies, I'm free. I've been set free. They say, whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And so I got off course a little bit, but I'm back. I'm focused on what it is that God has called me to do, and that's to bring strategies to the nations so that they can be delivered. One thing about Esther, she was like, look, I don't know what's getting ready to happen, but if I perish, whatever. I've got to go to the king on the people's behalf, right? But she didn't do that until she got a strategy from God. And when she got that strategy, she was able to go to the king, reveal that strategy, and the rest is history. She saved a nation. So I know exactly what I've been called to do. I'm walking in that calling. God needed to bring healing and wholeness and revelation to me in some areas in my life, and that is done. I'm walking in my purpose. I thoroughly embrace what it is that God has called me to do and to be. And so some of you call me the Queen of Queens. I embrace that because you are queens as well, and you have callings on your life. And there are some things that you need to be empowered in. God gave me a word several years ago that when you empower the people, you empower the vision. My job, my responsibility, my calling is to empower you. When I empower you, then your vision becomes empowered, and then you're able to be deployed to do exactly what God has called you to do. So that's what we're going to do. So we have set up the VIP suite over the next 24 hours. Please check your notifications on Facebook. We were bringing the VIPs over. Um, and like I said, we're bringing you guys over in waves. So please pay attention to your notifications. Some of you have reached out to us to make sure, hey, are we still? Yep, we are. But guys, one thing you'll learn about working with me is that I don't necessarily, when God gives me something, I just take off. All right. I can. But that hasn't served me in the past. So I'm not moving as quick as I have in the past. I just want to make sure that it's God. Because I'm going to tell you something. You can think that something is, it looks like God, okay? And it may even be good, but is it God? And so I'm learning to move just a little bit slower because I'm looking for that confirmation. I'm waiting for some things to kind of come together and so forth. And so that has. So with the VIP, two things where we're focusing on in depth. I'm gonna still do the general session. Okay, we're just gonna do deep dive web classes and webinars inside the VIP when it comes to investing, what you should be doing right now as the market is shifting and so forth. I'm going to give you an assignment as far as investing, whether it's stocks, gold, etc. We're gonna start digging deeper so that you become the savvy investor that you need to become in this season. All right. When it comes to relationships, the next web class after that is going to be within the next week. Is how to discover your purpose. And maybe you know your purpose, but it needs to be expounded upon. It needs to be expanded. Maybe you're ready to go to the next level. Some of you need to take this web class because you really want to have a mate. You really want to be married. You cannot connect to another human being. Talk about your king, and you don't know what you've been called to do. I've said this before and I'm going to continue to say it because, honey, it will preach. You do not want to be in a relationship, married. And when I'm speaking of relationships, guys, I'm not talking girlfriends and boyfriends. I keep having to say that. God He started me saying that like a couple of weeks ago. And that's because of my calling. My calling and how I minister to women about their sexuality and their sensuality is different than what you're used to seeing. And so I have to make sure that you understand that when I'm having a conversation about that part of the relationship, I'm talking to the king and the queen. Okay. There's no such thing as situationships in the Bible. So I just want to make that clear. But I want to make sure that when we step into this whole relationship piece, and I'm talking about that, you guys understand who I'm talking to. Okay. So we're gonna talk about purpose. And here's why God had me start, he had me to start saying that. But he also said this: you have to know who you are before you can connect with what you think you need or who you think, whatever. Because if you don't, the enemy can put anything across your path. And you'll be like, oh, this must be God. No, it's probably good. Remember, I taught you guys that message on good, better, best? So, in the case of relationships, some of you have had some bad ones. And then you meet, I don't want to give names because I can't keep track of them, but you meet a gentleman and he's better than bad. So, we'll label him good. And then you'll meet better. And better is better than good. You'll be like, oh, that must be God. No, he's just better. And then all of a sudden, you you run up on a gentleman that is God's best. He was created just for you. Okay. And so you'll know that by some things. And I want to help you, number one, discover your purpose so you can begin to walk in it, expand on it. Because I believe, and this is just Jonah, I believe when we step into purpose, that's a path. Now you're giving off this frequency, this energy. I like to say this energy about yourself that literally attracts, you know, and who we are is what we attract. And I was looking at, life as I know it over the last, well, I'll be 60 this year. And I looked at relationships, both personal and like regular friendships, girlfriends and such, and how I was in my life in that season. And I absolutely attracted that person because of my lack of self esteem, my lack of self worth. And here's what happened: the more I grew in that area, I repelled certain things and I attracted other things. So it's not on the person that is supposed to like it's almost like we're looking at the person to give us what it is that we need, so to speak. Like we don't play a part. No, it's who you have become. So when you become that person that is in that space to be able to attract that person that you're believing for, it's just he has to show up. He has to show up. And so I watched my life evolve. And as I evolved, so did my relationship. So now I'm attracting different things in my life because I have evolved. And I'm good with that because I said something the other day. I said, oh, I'm attracting better. That's a good thing. That's progress. Okay. That's progress. So continue to keep working on yourself. Continue to keep applying self love because I'm telling you right now, that is the number one key with women. The reason why we don't attract what it is that we desire, because God gives us the desires of our heart. But why aren't we attracting that? Because we lack self love and we settle. Because we see good, we think that's God. We see better, we think that's God. We're like, God, I said, Lord, let me just help. So no, no, just become all that God created you to be. Love yourself first. I'm telling you, when you start loving yourself, there are certain things you won't tolerate and things you won't settle. And it's not that other person is bad. They're just good for someone else. They're someone else's. They're someone else's best. Okay. So I'm excited about what God is doing in this season. I wanted to get on here to leave this message to let you guys know that I've become a part of the VIP. Welcome to the new queens who have just come into the Queen Network. Welcome. And I'm excited about what God is doing. And we're going to get on the other side of this. But I tell you what, once we get on the other side of this, and I already am, spiritually speaking, I really am, because I'm already looking at what I'm going to be doing after this quarantine is lifted. So my spirit is, and I'm just already there. But once we get on the other side of this, guys, I'm telling you, if you do what God tell you to do while you're in quarantine, your life as you know it will never be the same in a good way. And I'm gonna close out with this because this is how I go to sleep at night. I said, Father, I thank you that I wake up in peace and I go to sleep in peace, but I get to live my life in between in unprecedented joy, joy that I've never discovered before, because that's what He told me. He told me that my latter days would be better than my former days, and I believe him. I believe him. So, ladies, have a great evening. I'm going to drop this video in a few hours, and I'm excited. I have a lot of work to do, and I'm going to get back to it. God is amazing. He loves you, and He loves me. Happy Sunday, ladies. And to my queens, I'll see you in the VIP suite. You romance my heart. I'm telling y'all better get connected to the Father. Yes. Go back and listen to that song again if you haven't listened to it in a while. Have a great afternoon, ladies. And I will see you VIPs in the Social Experiment VIP suite, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.